I've been meaning for ages to put together a video of how to put roses together in a bowl. Everybody said, how do you do it? How do you do it? Well, I don't have any special expertise in arrangements. I just pick garden roses and I put them together, and they usually end up looking half decent in a bowl for the garden, for the house, to give away, whatever. So today I'm just going to go through how you will set out putting your oasis in a bowl, putting the roses in, and hopefully we'll end up with a decent looking bowl of roses that you can put in your front room. So without further ado, you've got some oasis here that I've soaked in Chrysal. Now Chrysal is the stuff that you get in your cut flowers. You just put a little bit of that in the water and it helps the roses last longer. So what I would do is I get a bowl. Normally we'll use a plastic bowl, but because I'm giving this away to a friend, I've used a china bowl that I've had in my cupboard. So I mark out on the oasis the shape of the bowl. I then cut round with a very sharp knife the size of the bowl. Now I'm very haphazard at this. My other half will tell you that he's much neater at cutting pieces of oasis to fit bowls, but I'm afraid I just cut it round in a very rough shape, and then because often our bowls that we use are tapered, you would shave it down slightly. This one I'm using today isn't really tapered, so it should fit in quite nicely. So we get the bowl and pop it in, push it in to the bowl so that it fits nice and snugly. Any excess you can just shave off the top. So you've got a nice bowl full of oasis, not poking out the top and not over. Now what I would normally do so that people can water their baskets and bowls is to make a little V shape that you can leave at the back or the front, so that people can actually water the arrangement without too much difficulty. So there you've got your hole there where you can pour water in. Okay, we'll put that at the back for the time being. So you can see we've got all these roses, all different shapes and sizes. What I normally do is start off with something that is kind of maybe one of the taller ones for your back. So we've got here Rhapsody in Blue. Rhapsody in Blue is fairly short-lived cut flower, but it's very, very fragrant, and it's a very healthy rose in your garden. So this time of year you'll find it's got loads and loads of flower on it, and we'll start off with that as being our sort of high point at the back. Now I'm going to have to do this facing me. I'll turn it round every now and again so that you can see where we're at. So that's the first rose. Okay. Now we can see that we've got space either side. So we've got roses such as Lucky, shall we say. This is Lucky. Now Lucky is a lovely fragrant rose, grows in garden easily, very healthy, as you can see, makes nice little stems. It's actually coming to the end of its first flush now, so we'll put that in next to the purple one, and you've got your back starting now. So then we need another pinky colour one. So we'll look at maybe Tickled Pink is the right height. This is Tickled Pink, another rose that will grow very well in your garden without a lot of care and attention. Now what I didn't tell you is that normally before I put them in the bowl I'll always cut a tiny bit off the base before we recut them basically before we put them in. so that they take up water. Now we've got a very nice little rose here. This is an Austin rose called Summer Song. Very fragrant. And I'm trying to do this bowl with fragrant roses because my friend that I'm going to give it to loves fragrance. And this one may be too short to go right next to the blue, so we'll put that at the front for now. So we are like this now. We've got a kind of a base. Now, we'll try and put another piece of Rhapsody in Blue in. Now as you can see, this has got some heads that need cutting off before we put them in. So we'll do that now. It's also got a little bit of damage on the leaves, so we'll cut them off. We don't want the unattractive leaves. So we'll put that over to one side so that it matches up with the blue at the top. So you can see now we've got a bit of blue down the bottom and some pink. So we're mainly in pinks and blues at the moment. We'll find another blue bit, cut the end off it, bottom leaves, and maybe that will go this side. I try and do things fairly evenly so that when you look at the bowl at the end you've got an even sort of colour mix. Now we've got a bit more lucky here, and I've got a lovely stem here of Golden Beauty. I fear this is going to be far too big for what I need to do today. Golden Beauty, called South Africa in America, is a lovely rose. Grows very well, as you can see, healthy as anything. Our roses this year in the allotment haven't been looked after particularly well, so anything that's doing well up there now is doing very well. This is a single stem of it, which it does grow quite a few single stems. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow into the bowl. So there we go, look, we're getting a colour mix. Now we need yellow, we need another yellow in the middle somewhere. Now this one is too small. This one is a Selfridges, and we have some more yellows which are simply heaven, but I don't think that they're tall enough either. I'll just have a look, see if I've got one that's any taller. Now this one may have to go at the front. This is simply heaven. A nice garden rose, HT shaped, not fragrant. Cut the end off a little bit. That can go at the front. That brings a little bit of colour to the front. So we're still getting filled in, and let's go for a nice pink one here. Now, as you can see, I'm a bit rough with these poor things. This one is Gertrude Jekyll. You'll have all heard of that. It's a very fragrant rose, and it's, if you could smell it, it's absolutely beautiful. It's probably one of my most favourite fragrant roses. So chop the end off a little bit. Also very healthy and tolerant of all sorts of conditions. Now what I do sometimes is I'll stand the stem in a level so that I can see where it's going to end up when I put it in. So this one is going to end up in just about the right sort of spot. If I put that there. Now we might have to rearrange some of these because we're going down in a, maybe have to put it up a bit higher. There. Okay. So then we have, let's use this little pink HT. This is called Wimmy. You'll have all heard of Wimmy. Wimmy is a fragrant HT. This is a tiny one, but it's fine for this sort of thing. Cut the end off a little bit and put it in. There we go. So we've got like two parts now. We've got to try filling in the middle now with this. Hold on. What have we got in here? Now I did pick quite a few light fantastic, but they're fairly short growers. It's a beautiful little rose, like fantastic. It grows, it's ideal for the garden. It fill your garden with colour. But it's a very low growing rose. And then this one is Iceberg. Iceberg is a sucker for black spot and anything else going, but it really does produce some lovely flowers. So we can probably use this. We haven't got much in the way of white, so we'll just put that around the bottom there. Now then, another one that I picked, which is fragrant, is Shandust Beauty. Shandust Beauty is a very nice garden rose, grows very healthy, doesn't need a lot of care and attention, and is extremely fragrant. So let's put him in. I'm just rearranging these. You sometimes have to sort of go back to where you were and just sort of put them in a little bit closer together sometimes to get a good arrangement. Now these poor things I've just tipped on their heads. This little one here is Dermot O'Neill. Dermot O'Neill is a Dave Kenny rose. It's a lovely lilac-y colour rose. And then this one here is our old favourite Escapade, which is used very often in arrangements. It's a very fragrant little rose. And Tickle Pink again. So I need to get some taller ones. You can see that it's coming together. I'll show you. Let me turn it round. You see? So we need some more in the middle. Lucky again to fill in the gaps. There we go. And we've got Tickle Pink. Now you can see Tickle Pink as a young bloom is much deeper in colour in the middle. And it has, when it's in its first flush, it has massive, huge blooms, huge trusses. Here we are. It's not such a good one. Put the little yellow one. This is Selfridges. Again, you would expect Selfridges to grow some perfect HT type blooms. It's this one that I put in is not a perfect rose, but it doesn't matter for an arrangement like this. So you can see we're actually getting there now. We're getting towards a bowl shape. Now I've got a beautiful rose that I'd like to put in, which is called Wild Rover. Wild Rover is a very, very nice shrub. Grows about sort of 4 foot or so, but the colour is stunning, and it does go with the pinks and purples quite well. Also goes with the tanny colour roses like hot chocolate and things like that. So we're going to put that in over the side here. And if I can find another piece, which we probably have here. Yep. Oh, just broken that one. So that might balance it up if I put that over here. There. So it's quite an odd shaped bowl at the moment, but it will get there. Okay. So then we need to look at, I mean, I'd like to get this in here somehow, but I'm not sure if it will fit anywhere. It's Eyes for You. Or, yes, I think it was Eyes for You. And it's a very nice Persica type rose. So we can just fit that in. I think it will fit in there. Yep, that's nice. And I've just tipped all these on their heads. As you can see, I'm pretty rough with roses. I get told off regularly if I'm putting them in shows. We've got got another odd persica that we can put in that side. Now I did pick some of this. I don't know where it'll fit in anywhere, but it's white pet. It's an old garden rose, very healthy, and it's quite useful for making arrangements. Fills in gaps quite well. And we'll put Dermot O'Neill in if we can get him fitted in the side here. There. So what we need now is a little bit more yellow. We'll try this one. This is a very tiny Selfridges. Here we are. Now you can see we're getting a bowl that's resembling a bowl, more or less now. Let's see. I don't think this is going to fit in. It's not tall enough for the back. This is Open Arms. Lovely, lovely little climber. Flowers all summer long. Very healthy. This little rose is Perception. Tiny little rose. It's normally bigger than this. And this is, of course, the old favourite, Fairy. Fairy grows very, very well anywhere, and it's very healthy. I don't think it's going to be able to go in this bowl because I don't think it matches what we've got. We've got a rose here that might well go in though. It's called a Blue for You. A Blue for You is another one of these bluey shades, and it's a lovely little rose. So we'll try and fit him in. I'll just see where he might go. Yes, I think we'll put him over this side to balance it up. There we are. Put him in there. And we need another bluey pinky colour one over the other side. Let's try this one. This is a tickled pink again. So there we are. Now I'm just going to pop a couple of the other bit of white pet that I think I did have somewhere. Maybe here it is. And this can go just at the front if it's long enough to match the other piece. That's it. And I think we're about there. We'll just put this piece of iceberg in to match up the other side. And one more piece, a pinky piece of deep pink from our old favourite Lucky, this side. It's a vicious rose, but it's a beautiful garden rose. It's quite savage when you're trying to sort of poke it in. I just feel that I might have a little gap at the back. I need something that's very tall. This might well do. There we are. A couple of bits of that at the back. That's Lucky again, just for reference. It just fills in the gaps there. Whoops. No, it's not tall enough, that one. No. We might have to do without anything there, unless we can get this in. I don't know if this is going to be, it's not necessarily the right shade, but let's try. As you can see, you can change these little bits as you go along. If I was doing this, picking them as I was going along, I'd have picked another different type of rose maybe to go in there. But anyway, that's kind of a bowl. It's not brilliant, but it's lovely for your house and very fragrant. There we go.